Welcome to Wisdom Audiobooks.
Have you ever wondered why people act the way they do? Why do some succeed while others struggle? The truth is, understanding human behavior is the key to unlocking success in relationships, business, and personal growth. This audiobook will guide you through the secrets behind human actions, empowering you to master human nature. Let me ask you this. What if you could predict how someone will react in a given situation? What if you could influence decisions, inspire action, or even transform your own life by simply understanding the hidden forces that drive us all? That's exactly what we're going to explore together. Introduction. The audiobook, Decoding Human Behavior. The Hidden Forces Driving Our Actions is written and published by Wisdom Audiobooks. Every day, we face challenges in understanding ourselves and others, whether it's in marketing, leadership, or personal development. For marketers, the pain lies in not knowing how to truly connect with customers. For leaders, it's the struggle to motivate teams effectively. And for individuals, it's often the frustration of feeling stuck in unproductive habits or failing to achieve their goals. As Aristotle once said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Yet, mastering human nature isn't just about self-awareness, it's about understanding the intricate web of emotions, biases, and motivations that drive every action we take. I know how overwhelming it can feel to navigate these complexities. You might have asked yourself, why do I keep making the same mistakes? Why can't I seem to influence others the way I want to? Or why does my team lack motivation despite my best efforts? Believe me, you're not alone. These are universal struggles, and they stem from a lack of understanding of human nature. But here's the good news. Once you grasp the principles behind human behavior, you'll find that many of life's challenges become much easier to overcome. In this audiobook, we'll dive deep into the science of human behavior. You'll learn about evolutionary psychology, cognitive biases, emotional drivers, and the art of persuasion. More importantly, you'll discover practical strategies to apply these insights in real-world scenarios, from building stronger relationships to creating impactful marketing campaigns. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools to navigate life's complexities with confidence and clarity. You'll understand why people act the way they do and how to use that knowledge to your advantage. Whether you're a marketer, a leader, or someone on a path to personal growth, this audiobook is designed to help you achieve your goals faster and more effectively. So, I encourage you to listen carefully and take notes along the way. Trust me, the lessons you'll learn here will change the way you see the world and yourself forever. Your wisdom journey starts here.
Chapter 1. The Foundations of Human Behavior. In this chapter, we'll explore the foundational principles that govern human behavior. These principles are like the roots of a tree. They may not be visible on the surface, but they shape everything we do. By understanding these foundations, you'll gain a deeper insight into why people act the way they do and how to use this knowledge to your advantage. So let's dive in. Introduction to Chapter 1. Before we get into the details, let me give you a quick overview of what we'll cover in this chapter. First, we'll discuss how evolution has shaped our behavior, why we react instinctively in certain situations, and how survival instincts still influence us today. Next, we'll explore cognitive biases, those sneaky mental shortcuts that often lead us astray. Finally, we'll examine the role of emotions as powerful drivers of action. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a clear understanding of the invisible forces that guide human behavior. As Carl Sagan once said, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." And understanding human behavior is one of the most profound ways we can achieve that knowledge. So, let's begin. 1. The role of evolution in behavior. How survival instincts shape our decisions. Imagine this: you're walking through a forest, and suddenly you hear a rustling sound nearby. What's your first reaction? Most likely, you'll freeze, prepare to run, or look for something to defend yourself with. This is your fight or flight response, an ancient mechanism designed to keep you alive. Our ancestors relied on this instinct to survive in a world filled with predators and uncertainty. But here's the fascinating part: even though we no longer live in caves or face daily threats from wild animals, this instinct still influences our modern lives. For example, When you feel anxious before a big presentation or hesitate to make an important decision, it's often your survival brain kicking in. Take the case of Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. He once said, "Your time is limited, don't waste it living someone else's life." While this quote speaks to personal fulfillment, it also reflects an evolutionary truth. Humans are wired to seek purpose and meaning because it enhances our chances of survival. When you align your actions with your deeper purpose, you're tapping into a primal drive that has existed for thousands of years. Evolutionary psychology in action. Let's take another example. Why do people tend to trust familiar faces over strangers? It's because, historically, familiarity meant safety. Our ancestors lived in small tribes where everyone knew each other. Trusting outsiders could mean risking betrayal or harm. Today, this same principle applies in marketing. Brands that create a sense of familiarity, through consistent messaging or recognizable logos, are more likely to win customer loyalty. Understanding these evolutionary patterns can help you navigate relationships, business, and even your own decisions. Ask yourself, are my actions driven by logic or by an ancient survival instinct? Sometimes, simply being aware of these influences can help you make better choices. 2. Cognitive biases that influence us. What are cognitive biases? Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts that our brains use to process information quickly. While they can be helpful in certain situations, they often lead to irrational decisions. Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman famously described these biases in his book Thinking, Fast and Slow. He explained that our minds operate on two systems, System 1, which is fast and intuitive, and System 2, which is slow and deliberate. For instance, have you ever found yourself agreeing with an opinion simply because it aligned with your existing beliefs? This is called confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that supports what we already think. It's why debates on social media rarely change anyone's mind. People only share articles or studies that reinforce their views. Common biases and their impact. Let's explore 3 common biases and how they affect our lives. 1. Anchoring effect. Imagine you're shopping for a new laptop. The first price you see sets the anchor for all subsequent prices. If the first laptop costs $2,000, a $1,500 option might seem like a bargain, even if it's still expensive. Marketers use this bias all the time to influence purchasing decisions. 2. Loss aversion. Studies show that people feel the pain of losing something twice as intensely as the joy of gaining something. This is why free trials work so well. Companies offer a risk-free experience, knowing that customers are unlikely to cancel once they've started using the product. 3. Availability heuristic. We tend to overestimate the likelihood of events based on how easily we can recall examples. For instance, after hearing about a plane crash on the news, many people develop a fear of flying, even though statistically, air travel is safer than driving. Overcoming biases. The good news is that awareness is the first step toward overcoming these biases. Start by questioning your assumptions. Ask yourself, am I making this decision based on facts, or am I relying on a mental shortcut? Over time, this practice will help you think more clearly and make smarter choices. 3. Emotions as drivers of action. The connection between emotions and behavior. Emotions are at the heart of every decision we make. Contrary to popular belief, humans are not purely rational beings. As neuroscientist Antonio Damasio discovered, patients with damage to the emotional centers of their brains struggle to make even simple decisions, like what to eat for lunch. This proves that emotions play a critical role in guiding our actions. Consider this famous quote by Maya Angelou. "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Whether you're leading a team, selling a product, or building a relationship, emotions are the key to influencing others. Leveraging emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. Research shows that EQ is a stronger predictor of success than IQ. Here's how you can apply emotional intelligence in your daily life. 1. Practice empathy. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. For example, if a colleague seems upset, instead of dismissing their feelings, ask, "Is there anything I can do to help?" 2. Regulate your emotions. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and pause before reacting. This simple technique can prevent unnecessary conflicts and improve communication. 3. Use positive reinforcement. Celebrate small wins and acknowledge efforts. Whether you're managing a team or motivating yourself, positive reinforcement strengthens emotional bonds and encourages repeat behavior. The power of storytelling. One of the most effective ways to tap into emotions is through storytelling. Stories resonate with us because they activate multiple areas of the brain, including those responsible for sensory experiences and emotions. For example, when you hear a story about someone overcoming adversity, your brain releases oxytocin, the trust hormone, which makes you more likely to connect with the storyteller or their message. Let me share a real-life story that illustrates this point. A real-life story, the power of emotional connection. In 2014, a young entrepreneur named Sarah Blakely launched a campaign for her company, Spanx. Instead of focusing solely on product features, she shared her personal journey, how she started the business with just $5,000 in savings, faced numerous rejections, and eventually became one of the youngest self-made female billionaires. Her vulnerability and authenticity struck a chord with customers, turning Spanx into a global phenomenon. Why did this work? Because people don't buy products, they buy stories. They want to feel inspired, understood, and connected. As Simon Sinek famously said, "People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it." By sharing her why, Sarah created an emotional connection that transcended mere functionality. This same principle applies whether you're marketing a product, leading a team, or building relationships. Always ask yourself, what story am I telling? How can I make it relatable and emotionally engaging? Bringing it all together. To summarize this chapter, let's revisit the 3 key foundations of human behavior. 1. Evolutionary psychology. Our actions are shaped by ancient instincts designed to ensure survival. Understanding these instincts helps us navigate modern challenges more effectively. 2. Cognitive biases. Mental shortcuts often lead to irrational decisions. Awareness and critical thinking are essential tools for overcoming these biases. 3. Emotions as drivers of action. Emotions influence every decision we make. By developing emotional intelligence and leveraging storytelling, we can connect with others on a deeper level. As you reflect on these principles, remember this quote by Viktor Frankl. "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response." By understanding the forces that drive human behavior, you gain the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Chapter 2: Decoding Human Motivation. In this chapter, we'll delve into the fascinating world of human motivation. Understanding what drives people to act is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. Whether you're a marketer trying to influence customers, a leader inspiring your team, or an individual striving for personal growth, motivation is the invisible force that propels us forward. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning, pushes us to pursue our dreams, and helps us overcome obstacles. But here's the catch: not all motivation is created equal. Some motivations come from within, while others are influenced by external factors. By decoding these differences, you'll gain the ability to harness motivation more effectively, in yourself and in others. So, let's begin. Before we dive into the details, let me give you a quick overview of what we'll cover in this chapter. First, we'll explore Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a framework that explains why people prioritize certain goals over others. Next, we'll examine the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation and how to leverage each type depending on the situation. Finally, we'll discuss the power of purpose and how aligning with a greater mission can fuel consistent action. As Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Understanding human motivation is about uncovering that why and using it to drive meaningful action. Let's get started. 1. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Breaking down the pyramid. In 1943, psychologist Abraham Maslow introduced a groundbreaking theory known as the hierarchy of needs. He proposed that human motivation follows a pyramid structure, with basic needs at the bottom and higher-level aspirations at the top. According to Maslow, we must satisfy lower-level needs before moving on to fulfill higher ones. Let's break down each level of the pyramid. 1. Physiological needs. These are the most fundamental requirements for survival: food, water, shelter, and rest. Without these basics, humans cannot focus on anything else. For example, imagine trying to study for an exam when you haven't eaten all day. Your hunger will dominate your thoughts, making it nearly impossible to concentrate. This principle applies in business too. Companies like Uber and Airbnb have succeeded by addressing physiological needs, providing convenient transportation and affordable lodging. By meeting these basic needs, they've built massive customer loyalty. 2. Safety needs. Once physiological needs are met, people seek security and stability. This includes financial security, health insurance, and protection from harm. Think about why so many people stay in jobs they dislike. It's often because they value the safety and predictability those jobs provide. A famous example comes from the Great Depression era. During this time, companies like Coca-Cola thrived by offering affordable products that gave people a sense of normalcy and comfort amidst economic turmoil. 3. Social needs, love and belonging. Humans are inherently social creatures. We crave connection, friendship, and love. Brands like Facebook and Instagram tap into this need by creating platforms where people can share their lives and build communities. As Helen Keller once said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." This quote highlights the universal desire for belonging and collaboration. When you understand this need, you can create environments, whether in business or personal life, that foster genuine connections. 4. Esteem needs. Beyond relationships, people want to feel valued and respected. Esteem needs include self-confidence, recognition, and a sense of accomplishment. For instance, employees who receive regular praise and acknowledgement are more likely to stay motivated and perform better. Consider the success of LinkedIn. By allowing professionals to showcase their achievements and network with peers, LinkedIn fulfills the esteem needs of millions of users worldwide. 5. Aiming at the pyramid, the summit. Self-actualization ***. At the very top lies self-actualization, the desire to become the best version of oneself. This is where creativity, purpose, and personal growth come into play. People at this stage pursue passions, contribute to society, and seek fulfillment beyond material gains. Take Elon Musk, for example. His relentless pursuit of innovation, from electric cars to space exploration, reflects a deep drive for self-actualization. He's not just building businesses, he's working toward a vision that transcends profit. Application: understanding customer motivations and marketing. Now that you understand Maslow's framework, let's talk about how to apply it in real-world scenarios. Suppose you're launching a new product. Ask yourself, which level of the hierarchy does my product address? For example, if you're selling organic food, you're targeting physiological needs. If you're promoting a home security system, you're appealing to safety needs. And if you're creating a community app, you're tapping into social needs. By aligning your message with the right level of motivation, you'll resonate more deeply with your audience. 2. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. What's the difference? Motivation can be divided into two main types: intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's driven by internal rewards like satisfaction, joy, or personal growth. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, comes from external factors such as money, recognition, or praise. Both types have their place, but understanding when to use each is crucial for success. Intrinsic motivation, the power within. When someone is intrinsically motivated, they engage in an activity purely for the love of it. For example, a writer who spends hours crafting stories without expecting payment is driven by intrinsic motivation. Research shows that intrinsic motivation leads to greater creativity, persistence, and overall well-being. As Confucius wisely said, Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. When you align your actions with your passions, work feels less like a chore and more like a calling. Here's a practical tip. To foster intrinsic motivation in yourself or others, focus on autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Give people the freedom to make choices, help them develop skills, and connect their efforts to a larger mission. When to use each type. Intrinsic motivation, best for long-term projects, creative endeavors, and fostering loyalty. Systematic tasks, short-term goals, and competitive environments. A great example of balancing both types is Google's 20% time policy. Employees were allowed to spend 20% of their workweek on passion projects unrelated to their primary responsibilities. This initiative led to innovations like Gmail and AdSense, products born out of intrinsic motivation but supported by extrinsic resources. 3. The power of purpose. Why purpose matters. Purpose is the North Star that guides our actions. When we align with a greater mission, we unlock a level of motivation that transcends fleeting rewards or external pressures. Purpose gives meaning to our efforts and helps us persevere through challenges. As Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, famously said, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." This profound insight reminds us that purpose is not just a luxury, it's a necessity for sustained motivation. Let's explore how purpose influences behavior in different contexts. Purpose in business, inspiring loyalty through vision. Great companies don't just sell products, they sell visions. Take Patagonia, the outdoor clothing brand, as an example. Their mission statement reads, "We're in business to save our home planet." This bold declaration resonates deeply with environmentally conscious consumers. By aligning their brand with a larger purpose, Patagonia has cultivated a loyal customer base willing to pay premium prices for sustainable products. Here's the lesson. Whether you're running a business or leading a team, articulating a clear purpose inspires others to join your cause. Ask yourself, what impact do I want to create? How can my work contribute to something bigger than myself? Purpose in personal growth, finding your why. On a personal level, purpose fuels self-discipline and resilience. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before becoming one of the most successful writers in history, she faced numerous rejections and lived in poverty as a single mother. But her unwavering belief in her story kept her going. She once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all." Rowling's journey teaches us that purpose isn't just about achieving success. It's about staying true to your values and passions, even when the path is difficult. How to discover your purpose. If you're struggling to identify your purpose, here are some practical steps to guide you. 1. Reflect on your values. What principles matter most to you? Is it creativity, integrity, helping others, or something else? Write them down. 2. Identify your strengths. What activities make you lose track of time? What skills do people often compliment you on? These clues point toward your natural talents. 3. Ask yourself, what impact do I want to make? Imagine looking back on your life years from now. What legacy would you want to leave behind? 4. Experiment and iterate. Purpose doesn't have to be static. Try new things, take risks, and learn from your experiences. Over time, your purpose will become clearer. For instance, Oprah Winfrey started her career as a local news anchor but eventually found her true calling in empowering others through media. Her journey shows that purpose evolves. It's okay to pivot until you find what truly fulfills you. Bringing it all together. To summarize this chapter, let's revisit the key insights about human motivation. 1. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, understanding the layers of human desires, from basic survival to self-actualization, helps us tailor our approach to influence and inspire others. 2. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. While intrinsic motivation drives long-term engagement, extrinsic rewards can provide short-term boosts. Balancing both leads to optimal results. 3. The power of purpose. Aligning with a greater mission fuels consistent action and creates a sense of fulfillment. Purpose is the ultimate motivator that keeps us moving forward, even in the face of adversity. As you reflect on these principles, remember this quote by Mahatma Gandhi. The future depends on what you do today. Every step you take toward understanding and harnessing motivation brings you closer to achieving your goals. A real-life story, the power of purpose and action. Let me share a final story that illustrates the transformative power of purpose. In 2006, Blake Mycoskie founded Tom's Shoes with a simple yet powerful idea. For every pair of shoes sold, the company would donate a pair to a child in need. This one-for-one motto wasn't just a marketing gimmick, it was a reflection of Blake's deep commitment to making a difference. Within a few years, Tom's became a global phenomenon, donating millions of pairs of shoes and expanding its mission to include eyewear, clean water, and safe birth initiatives. Customers weren't just buying shoes, they were participating in a movement. Blake's story demonstrates that purpose-driven actions resonate deeply with people. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or pursuing personal growth, connecting with a greater mission amplifies your impact. Chapter 3: The Psychology of Influence and Persuasion. In this chapter, we'll explore the art and science of influence, how to ethically persuade others and inspire action. Whether you're a marketer, a leader, or someone looking to improve your communication skills, mastering these principles will give you a powerful edge in navigating human interactions. Influence is not about manipulation, it's about understanding what motivates people and using that knowledge to create win-win outcomes. As Robert Cialdini, one of the world's leading experts on persuasion, once said, "The ability to persuade is the single greatest skill anyone can have." So let's dive into the psychology behind influence and discover how you can apply it in your own life. Before we get into the details, let me give you a quick overview of what we'll cover in this chapter. First, we'll discuss the principle of reciprocity, how giving first can lead to greater returns. Next, we'll explore social proof, the idea that people follow the crowd, and how it shapes behavior. Then, we'll examine the power of authority and scarcity in creating urgency and trust. Finally, we'll look at consistency and liking, two often overlooked but incredibly effective tools for building rapport and influencing decisions. As Dale Carnegie famously wrote in How to Win Friends and Influence People, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." Understanding the psychology of influence starts with focusing on others' needs and desires. Let's begin. 1. Reciprocity. Give first, receive later. What is reciprocity? The principle of reciprocity states that when someone does something for us, we feel compelled to return the favor. This innate sense of fairness is deeply rooted in human nature. Think about it. If a colleague helps you with a project, don't you naturally want to repay them by offering assistance in the future? This principle is widely used in marketing and business. For example, companies often offer free trials, samples, or valuable content to potential customers. By giving something upfront, they create a sense of obligation, increasing the likelihood of conversion. Real-life example: the power of free trials. Take Netflix, for instance. Their strategy of offering a free month-long trial has been instrumental in attracting millions of subscribers. Once users experience the convenience and entertainment value of the platform, they're more likely to continue paying after the trial ends. But reciprocity isn't just limited to businesses. In personal relationships, small acts of kindness can go a long way. Bringing coffee for a teammate, lending a listening ear, or offering help without being asked can strengthen bonds and build goodwill. How to apply reciprocity ethically? To use reciprocity effectively, focus on genuine generosity. Don't give with the sole intention of receiving, it should come from a place of authenticity. Here are some practical tips. In marketing, offer valuable resources like ebooks, webinars, or discounts before asking for a sale. In leadership, go out of your way to support your team members, whether through mentorship, recognition, or flexibility. In personal life, practice random acts of kindness. You never know how much impact a simple gesture can have. As Zig Ziglar once said, "You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want." Reciprocity is a reminder that giving is the foundation of meaningful connections. 2. Social proof. Why people follow the crowd. Understanding social proof. Humans are social creatures. We look to others for cues on how to behave. This phenomenon, known as social proof, explains why we're more likely to try a restaurant with a line out the door or buy a product with thousands of positive reviews. Social proof works because it reduces uncertainty. When faced with a decision, we assume that others who've already made the same choice must know something we don't. Types of social proof. There are several forms of social proof, each with its unique applications. 1. Expert social proof. Endorsements from credible authorities, such as doctors recommending a health product. 2. Celebrity social proof. Influencers or celebrities promoting a brand, like Beyoncé collaborating with Adidas. 3. User social proof. Testimonials, reviews, and case studies from satisfied customers. 4. Wisdom of the crowd. Large numbers of people endorsing something, such as over 1 million copies sold. Real-life example, the rise of influencer marketing. Consider the success of Kylie Jenner's cosmetics line, Kylie Cosmetics. With millions of followers on Instagram, Kylie leveraged her influence to promote her products, creating massive demand almost overnight. Her posts showcasing her lip kits became a form of social proof, convincing fans that they needed to buy them too. How to use social proof effectively. Here are some ways to harness social proof in your own life. In business, highlight customer testimonials, showcase user-generated content, and display trust badges, e.g., featured in Forbes. In leadership, share success stories of team members who've achieved great results under your guidance. In personal growth, surround yourself with motivated, goal-oriented individuals. Their energy and achievements will inspire you to push harder. Remember this quote by Jim Rohn. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Social proof reminds us that our environment shapes our behavior. Choose wisely. 3. Authority and scarcity, building trust and urgency. The power of authority. People trust experts. Whether it's a doctor prescribing medication or a thought leader sharing insights, authority figures carry significant weight in influencing decisions. Cialdini highlights this principle in his book Influence, noting that titles, uniforms, and credentials all signal authority. For example, a study found that people were more likely to follow instructions from someone wearing a lab coat, even if they weren't an actual scientist. Leveraging authority ethically. To establish authority, focus on demonstrating expertise rather than asserting dominance. Here are some strategies. In marketing, partner with industry experts, publish research-backed content, and earn certifications to build credibility. In leadership, lead by example, share your knowledge generously, and maintain transparency. In personal life, continuously learn and grow so you can offer valuable advice to those around you. Creating urgency with scarcity. Scarcity taps into our fear of missing out, FOMO. When something is rare or available for a limited time, we perceive it as more valuable. Retailers frequently use phrases like, "Only 3 left in stock," or "Sale ends tonight," to drive purchases. Real-life example, Apple product launches. Apple is a master of scarcity. During new product launches, they often create buzz by limiting initial availability, which drives demand and encourages early adoption. How to use scarcity responsibly. Scarcity should enhance value, not exploit fear. Here's how to apply it ethically. In business, offer limited-time promotions or exclusive access to loyal customers. In leadership, highlight time-sensitive opportunities for your team, such as training programs or projects with deadlines, to encourage prompt action. In personal life, set personal deadlines for goals to create a sense of urgency and keep yourself accountable. As Seth Godin once said, "Don't find customers for your products, find products for your customers." When using authority and scarcity, always prioritize the needs and desires of your audience. Ethical influence builds trust, while manipulation erodes it. 4. Consistency, encouraging small commitments for bigger results. What is consistency? Humans have an inherent desire to be consistent with their past actions, beliefs, and commitments. Once we make a decision or take a stand, we face internal and external pressures to behave in ways that align with that commitment. This principle is rooted in our need to maintain a coherent self-image. Robert Cialdini explains in Influence that consistency is a shortcut our brains use to simplify decision-making. Instead of reevaluating every choice, we rely on previous commitments as a guide. The power of small commitments. Big changes often start with small steps. By encouraging others, or yourself, to make minor commitments, you can pave the way for larger actions down the line. For example, a fitness coach might ask a client to commit to just 5 minutes of exercise a day. Once the client starts, they're more likely to continue because their brain associates the activity with their identity as someone who exercises. Real-life example: the foot in the door technique. This technique involves getting someone to agree to a small request before asking for something bigger. A classic study demonstrated this by first asking homeowners to display a small sign in their windows supporting safe driving. Later, when asked to place a large, unattractive billboard in their yard, many agreed, far more than those who hadn't made the initial commitment. How to use consistency effectively. Here are some practical ways to apply the principle of consistency. In marketing, start with low-barrier offers, like signing up for a newsletter or downloading a free guide, before introducing higher-ticket items. In leadership, **** ask team members to set small, achievable goals. Celebrate their progress to reinforce their commitment to growth. In personal life, make public declarations about your goals, such as sharing them with friends or posting updates on social media. Accountability increases the likelihood of follow-through. As Tony Robbins famously said, "Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible." Consistency transforms intentions into habits, and habits into lasting change. 5. Building rapport to increase influence. Why liking matters. People are more likely to say yes to those they know, like, and trust. This principle, known as liking, highlights the importance of building genuine connections. Whether it's through shared interests, compliments, or cooperative efforts, fostering likability enhances your ability to influence others. Cialdini identifies several factors that contribute to liking: physical attractiveness, similarity, praise, and familiarity. While these elements may seem superficial, they play a significant role in shaping perceptions. Building rapport through similarity. We tend to gravitate toward people who are similar to us. For instance, a salesperson might mention a shared hobby or alma mater during a conversation to establish common ground. This subtle connection can significantly increase rapport and trust. The role of praise and positivity. Sincere compliments go a long way in creating positive impressions. Research shows that people who receive genuine praise feel more connected to the giver and are more open to their suggestions. Real-life example: the power of relatability in branding. Dove's Real Beauty campaign is a masterclass in leveraging liking. By celebrating diverse body types and challenging traditional beauty standards, Dove positioned itself as relatable and authentic. Consumers didn't just buy soap, they supported a movement that resonated with their values. How to build liking ethically. To enhance your likability, focus on authenticity and empathy. Here are some strategies. In marketing, share behind-the-scenes content to humanize your brand. Respond promptly and kindly to customer inquiries. In leadership, show genuine interest in your team members' lives. Celebrate their successes and offer support during challenges. In personal life, practice active listening, give thoughtful compliments, and find common ground with others. Remember Maya Angelou's wisdom. "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Liking is about creating positive emotional experiences that leave a lasting impact. Chapter 4. Mastering Self-Awareness and Personal Growth. In this chapter, we'll shift our focus inward, to the foundation of all personal development, self-awareness. Understanding yourself is the first step toward mastering human nature, because how you perceive and respond to the world begins with how well you know your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. As Socrates famously said, "Know thyself." These two simple words encapsulate one of life's greatest challenges and opportunities. By cultivating self-awareness and building positive habits, you'll unlock the tools needed to transform not only your own life but also your interactions with others. Let's dive in. 1. The importance of self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, thoughts, strengths, weaknesses, and motivations. It's like holding up a mirror to your inner world so you can see clearly what drives your actions. Without self-awareness, it's easy to fall into reactive patterns, making decisions based on fleeting emotions rather than thoughtful reflection. Research shows that self-aware individuals are more confident, creative, and resilient. They're also better communicators and collaborators because they understand how their behavior impacts others. Tools for self-reflection. Developing self-awareness requires intentional effort. Here are some practical tools to help you get started. 1. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings helps you process emotions and identify recurring patterns. Try journaling at the end of each day, asking yourself questions like, what went well today? What could I have done differently? 2. Mindfulness practices. Meditation and deep breathing exercises train your mind to stay present, reducing stress and increasing clarity. Apps like Headspace or Calm can guide you through mindfulness routines. 3. Feedback from others. Ask trusted friends, family members, or colleagues for honest feedback about your strengths and areas for improvement. Their perspectives can reveal blind spots you might miss. Real-life example: the power of journaling. Take the example of Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek. Ferriss attributes much of his success to daily journaling. He uses a practice called morning pages, where he writes 3 pages of stream of consciousness thoughts every morning. This habit clears mental clutter and sparks creativity, allowing him to approach challenges with fresh insight. How self-awareness improves relationships and decision-making. When you're self-aware, you become less reactive and more intentional in your interactions. For instance, if you notice yourself feeling defensive during a conversation, you can pause and ask, "Why am I reacting this way?" This moment of awareness gives you the power to choose a constructive response instead of escalating conflict. Similarly, in decision-making, self-awareness helps you align choices with your values and long-term goals. Instead of chasing instant gratification, you can weigh options based on what truly matters to you. As Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, puts it, "If your emotional abilities aren't in hand, no amount of intellectual ability will make you successful." Self-awareness is the cornerstone of emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is key to thriving in both personal and professional realms. 2. Building positive habits. The science of habit loops. Habits are the building blocks of behavior. According to Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, every habit follows a 3-part loop: cue, routine, and reward. Cue, a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. Routine, the behavior itself, which can be physical, mental, or emotional. Reward, the benefit you gain from completing the routine, which reinforces the habit loop. Understanding this cycle allows you to intentionally design habits that serve you, or break those that don't. Strategies for breaking bad habits. Breaking bad habits starts with identifying the cue and reward driving the behavior. For example, if you find yourself snacking late at night, ask, "What's triggering this habit? Am I bored, stressed, or simply hungry?" Once you understand the underlying need, you can replace the unhealthy routine with a healthier alternative, such as drinking herbal tea or going for a short walk. Practical tips for forming new habits. Here are some proven strategies for building positive habits. 1. Start small. Focus on tiny, manageable changes rather than drastic overhauls. For example, instead of committing to an hour-long workout, start with just 5 minutes of stretching. 2. Anchor habits to existing routines. Link new habits to established ones. If you want to read more, place a book next to your toothbrush and read for 5 minutes after brushing your teeth. 3. Celebrate wins. Reward yourself for sticking to your habits. Positive reinforcement strengthens neural pathways, making it easier to maintain consistency. Real-life example: James Clear's Atomic Habits. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, emphasizes the power of small, incremental changes. He suggests focusing on a 1% improvement each day, which compounds over time to create massive results. For instance, reading just 1 page a day adds up to 365 pages in a year. That's roughly 12 books. Overcoming resistance to change. One of the biggest obstacles to forming new habits is resistance. Our brains prefer familiarity, even if it's harmful. To overcome this, remind yourself of your why. Why does this habit matter to you? How will it improve your life? Keeping your purpose front and center provides motivation when the going gets tough. As Aristotle wisely noted, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Building positive habits transforms excellence into a natural part of who you are. 3. Overcoming limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are negative thoughts or assumptions about yourself, others, or the world that holds you back from achieving your full potential. These beliefs often stem from past experiences, societal conditioning, or fear of failure. For example, thoughts like, "I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed," or "This is just how things are," can create self-imposed barriers that sabotage your progress. The problem with limiting beliefs is that they feel true, even when they're not. They operate in the subconscious mind, influencing your decisions and actions without you realizing it. Identifying your limiting beliefs. The first step to overcoming limiting beliefs is identifying them. Here's how. 1. Pay attention to negative self-talk. Notice recurring thoughts that undermine your confidence or motivation. Write them down so you can examine them objectively. 2. Ask critical questions. Challenge these thoughts by asking, is this belief based on facts or assumptions? What evidence supports or contradicts it? 3. Seek feedback. Sometimes, others can spot our blind spots more easily than we can. Ask trusted friends or mentors for their perspective. Reframing negative thought patterns. Once you've identified a limiting belief, the next step is to reframe it into a positive, empowering statement. For instance, instead of thinking, "I always mess things up," reframe it as, "Mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow." Replace, "I'm too shy to speak up," with, "My voice matters, and sharing my ideas adds value." Reframing doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means shifting your mindset to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. Real-life example: the journey of J.K. Rowling. Before becoming one of the most successful authors in history, J.K. Rowling faced countless rejections from publishers. She struggled with poverty, depression, and self-doubt. Yet, she refused to let limiting beliefs define her. In interviews, she has spoken about how she reframed failure as a stepping stone to success. Her perseverance paid off, proving that overcoming limiting beliefs can lead to extraordinary achievements. Practical exercises for transformation. Here are some actionable strategies to help you overcome limiting beliefs. 1. Affirmations. Repeat positive statements daily to reprogram your subconscious mind. For example, say, "I am capable and confident," or "I attract abundance and opportunity." 2. Visualization. Picture yourself succeeding in vivid detail. Imagine the emotions, sights, and sounds associated with achieving your goal. This practice strengthens your belief in what's possible. 3. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who uplift and inspire you. Their energy will reinforce your belief in yourself and your potential. As Marianne Williamson wrote in A Return to Love, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." Overcoming limiting beliefs allows you to embrace your true power and step into your greatness. Bringing it all together. To summarize this chapter, let's revisit the key insights about self-awareness and personal growth. 1. Self-awareness. Understanding your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors empowers you to make intentional choices and build stronger relationships. Tools like journaling, mindfulness, and feedback from others can deepen your self-awareness. 2. Building positive habits. Habits shape who we are. By leveraging the habit loop, cue, routine, reward, you can replace negative patterns with positive ones. Start small, anchor habits to existing routines, and celebrate wins along the way. 3. Overcoming limiting beliefs. Identifying and reframing limiting beliefs frees you from self-imposed barriers. Use affirmations, visualization, and positivity to transform your mindset. These principles work together to create a foundation for lasting change. As Tony Robbins famously said, "The only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment." When you master self-awareness and personal growth, you unlock the ability to design the life you desire. A real-life story, transforming pain into purpose. Let me share a final story that illustrates the transformative power of self-awareness and overcoming limiting beliefs. Malala Yousafzai grew up in Pakistan under oppressive conditions where girls were forbidden from attending school. Despite facing violence and threats, Malala refused to accept the belief that education was off-limits for women. Through self-awareness, she recognized her purpose: to advocate for girls' education worldwide. By reframing fear into courage, she became the youngest ever Nobel laureate and inspired millions to fight for equality. Her journey reminds us that personal growth isn't just about improving ourselves, it's about using our transformation to uplift others. Start today, perhaps by writing down 3 areas where you want to grow, committing to a new habit, or challenging a negative thought pattern. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Chapter 5. Applying Human Nature in Real Life. In this final chapter, we'll bring together everything we've learned so far and apply it to real-world challenges. Understanding human nature isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a practical toolkit for solving problems, building relationships, and achieving success in every area of life. As Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, "Know thyself, know thy enemy. 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories." While we're not talking about war here, the principle remains the same. Understanding people, including yourself, is the key to navigating life's complexities with confidence and clarity. Let's dive into how you can use these insights to make a tangible impact in your personal and professional life. 1. Leadership through understanding people. What makes a great leader? Great leaders aren't born, they're made. And at the heart of effective leadership lies one essential skill: understanding people. Whether you're managing a team, running a business, or guiding a community project, your ability to connect with others determines your success. Leadership isn't about authority, it's about influence. The best leaders inspire action by aligning with their team's values, motivations, and aspirations. They create environments where people feel valued, empowered, and motivated to contribute their best. Traits of effective leaders. Here are some key traits shared by successful leaders who understand human nature. 1. Empathy, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and see the world from their perspective. Empathetic leaders build trust and loyalty because they genuinely care about their team members' well-being. 2. Vision, great leaders articulate a clear and compelling vision that inspires others to join them on the journey. This vision serves as a North Star, guiding decisions and actions. 3. Adaptability. Understanding human nature means recognizing that people are dynamic. Effective leaders adapt their approach based on individual personalities, cultural differences, and changing circumstances. How to inspire and motivate teams. Inspiring others starts with understanding what drives them. Here are some actionable strategies. 1. Recognize individual strengths. Take time to identify each team member's unique talents and assign tasks accordingly. When people work in areas where they excel, they're more engaged and productive. 2. Provide meaningful feedback. Offer constructive criticism paired with encouragement. Focus on specific behaviors rather than general traits, and always highlight progress. 3. Celebrate wins together. Publicly acknowledge achievements, both big and small. Celebrations reinforce positive behavior and strengthen team cohesion. Real-life example: Howard Schultz and Starbucks. Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks, transformed the company by prioritizing employee satisfaction. He understood that happy baristas would deliver exceptional customer service. Under his leadership, Starbucks introduced benefits like health care coverage and stock options for part-time workers, a bold move at the time. This investment in people paid off, turning Starbucks into a global powerhouse known for its culture of care and excellence. Leading through challenges. During tough times, leadership becomes even more critical. When facing setbacks, focus on transparency and collaboration. Share the problem openly, involve your team in finding solutions, and remain optimistic without downplaying difficulties. As John C. Maxwell, author of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, puts it, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." True leadership is about walking alongside your team, especially when the path gets rocky. 2. Enhancing communication skills. The power of active listening. Communication isn't just about speaking, it's about listening. Active listening involves fully concentrating on what the other person is saying, asking clarifying questions, and responding thoughtfully. It demonstrates respect and builds rapport. For example, instead of interrupting or planning your response while someone is talking, focus on their words and body language. Paraphrase what they've said to confirm understanding. "So what I hear you saying is..." This simple act fosters deeper connections and reduces misunderstandings. Reading nonverbal cues. Up to 93% of communication is nonverbal, according to research by Dr. Albert Mehrabian. Tone of voice, facial expressions, posture, and gestures often convey more than words. Pay attention to these signals during conversations. For instance, crossed arms might indicate defensiveness, while leaning forward suggests engagement. Improving your communication style. Here are some tips to enhance your communication skills. 1. Be clear and concise. Avoid jargon or overly complex language. Get straight to the point while maintaining warmth and professionalism. 2. Use stories to connect. People remember stories better than facts or figures. Share anecdotes that illustrate your message and evoke emotion. 3. Practice empathy in conversations. Validate others' feelings and perspectives, even if you disagree. Phrases like, "I understand why you'd feel that way," go a long way in diffusing tension. Real-life example: the influence of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is widely regarded as one of the greatest communicators of our time. Her ability to connect with guests and audiences stems from her deep empathy and authenticity. She listens intently, asks thoughtful questions, and creates a safe space for vulnerability. By mastering communication, she has built a media empire rooted in trust and inspiration. The role of emotional intelligence in communication. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in effective communication. Leaders with high EQ can navigate conflicts, manage stress, and inspire cooperation. They recognize emotions in themselves and others, using this awareness to guide interactions. As Daniel Goleman explains, IQ gets you hired, but EQ gets you promoted. Developing emotional intelligence enhances not only your communication but also your overall effectiveness as a leader. 3. Unleashing creativity. Tapping into human curiosity and imagination. Creativity is not reserved for artists or inventors. It's a universal human trait that can be cultivated in anyone. At its core, creativity is about connecting seemingly unrelated ideas to generate something new and valuable. By understanding the drivers of creativity, you can unlock innovative solutions to everyday challenges. Curiosity is the fuel for creativity. When we ask questions, explore possibilities, and embrace uncertainty, we open ourselves to fresh perspectives. As Albert Einstein famously said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." This mindset allows us to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Techniques for generating innovative ideas. Here are some proven strategies to unleash your creative potential. 1. Brainstorm without judgment. Set aside time to brainstorm freely, without critiquing ideas prematurely. Quantity often leads to quality. Generate as many ideas as possible before refining them. 2. Combine unrelated concepts. Look for connections between different fields or disciplines. For example, Steve Jobs combined technology and design to create products that were both functional and beautiful. 3. Embrace constraints. Limitations can spark ingenuity. Instead of viewing constraints as barriers, use them as catalysts for creative problem solving, creating an environment that encourages creativity. If you're leading a team or working collaboratively, fostering a culture of creativity is essential. Here's how. 1. Encourage risk-taking. Reward bold ideas, even if they don't always succeed. Failure is a stepping stone to innovation. 2. Promote diversity of thought. Surround yourself with people from varied backgrounds and perspectives. Diverse teams produce more innovative solutions because they bring unique insights to the table. 3. Provide time and space for reflection. Creativity thrives when people have time to think deeply. Encourage breaks, walks, or moments of solitude to recharge the mind. Real-life example: Pixar's creative process. Pixar Animation Studios is renowned for its groundbreaking films, from Toy Story to Inside Out. A key part of their success lies in their collaborative creative process. Teams at Pixar engage in brain trust sessions, where colleagues provide candid feedback on projects in development. Criticism is constructive, and everyone's input is valued. This approach ensures that ideas evolve through iteration and refinement, resulting in stories that resonate globally. Overcoming creative blocks. Even the most creative individuals face blocks from time to time. Here's how to overcome them. 1. Change your environment. Sometimes a shift in scenery, whether it's working outdoors or rearranging your workspace, can stimulate new ideas. 2. Engage in play. Activities like drawing, playing games, or experimenting with hobbies can reignite your imagination. 3. Collaborate with others. Bouncing ideas off someone else can spark inspiration. 2 minds are often better than one. As Maya Angelou once said, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." Creativity is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Bringing it all together. To summarize this chapter, let's revisit the key insights about applying human nature in real life. 1. Leadership through understanding people. Great leaders inspire action by aligning with their team's values and motivations. Empathy, vision, and adaptability are essential traits for effective leadership. 2. Enhancing communication skills. Active listening, reading nonverbal cues, and practicing empathy strengthen relationships and reduce misunderstandings. Clear and concise communication builds trust and collaboration. 3. Unleashing creativity. Tapping into curiosity and imagination fosters innovation. Encouraging risk-taking, embracing diversity, and creating a supportive environment unlocks your team's creative potential. These principles are interconnected. They work together to help you navigate life's complexities with confidence and purpose. As Mahatma Gandhi wisely noted, "The future depends on what you do today." By applying these strategies, you'll transform challenges into opportunities and leave a lasting impact on those around you. A real-life story, transforming challenges into opportunities. Let me share a final story that illustrates the power of applying human nature to solve real-world problems. In 2008, during the global financial crisis, Airbnb was struggling to gain traction. Founders Brian Chesky, Joe Gebbia, and Nathan Blecharczyk faced mounting debt and dwindling hope. Instead of giving up, they decided to lean into human psychology. They realized that travelers weren't just looking for affordable lodging, they craved authentic experiences and connections with locals. By focusing on storytelling and creating a sense of belonging, Airbnb redefined its mission. Belong anywhere. They encouraged hosts to share personal stories about their homes and cities, making guests feel like part of a community rather than mere customers. This shift in perspective transformed Airbnb from a struggling startup into a multi-billion-dollar company. Their journey reminds us that understanding human nature isn't just about solving problems. It's about creating meaningful experiences that resonate deeply with people. Audiobook conclusion. Your journey continues. Congratulations, you've reached the end of this audiobook. Before we part ways, let's take a moment to reflect on the key lessons you've learned throughout this audiobook. These insights are not just theories. They're practical tools designed to help you navigate life's complexities with confidence and purpose. Here's a quick summary of what we've covered in this journey. 1. Foundations of human behavior. Evolutionary psychology explains why we act instinctively in certain situations. Cognitive biases influence our decisions, but awareness can help us overcome them. Emotions drive action. Understanding their power is crucial for personal and professional success. 2. Decoding human motivation. Maslow's hierarchy of needs reveals why people prioritize specific goals over others. Intrinsic motivation fuels long-term engagement, while extrinsic rewards provide short-term boosts. Purpose aligns actions with meaning, creating consistent motivation and fulfillment. 3. Psychology of influence and persuasion. Reciprocity builds goodwill and trust. Social proof reduces uncertainty and encourages action. Authority and scarcity create urgency, while consistency and liking foster rapport. 4. Mastering self-awareness and personal growth. Self-awareness empowers you to make intentional choices and improve relationships. Building positive habits transforms behaviors over time. Overcoming limiting beliefs unlocks your full potential. 5. Applying human nature in real life. Leadership through understanding people inspires teams and drives results. Communication skills like active listening and empathy strengthen connections. Creativity and innovation solve problems and generate groundbreaking ideas. These principles form a comprehensive framework for mastering human nature. Together, they equip you to lead with empathy, communicate with clarity, and innovate with purpose. Now that you hold the keys to mastering human nature, it's time to put them into practice. Remember, knowledge alone isn't enough, it's action that creates transformation. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate every step forward. For marketers and business leaders, use these insights to craft campaigns that resonate deeply with your audience. Build brands that inspire loyalty and trust. For leaders and managers, foster environments where people feel valued, motivated, and empowered to contribute their best. For individuals on a path to growth, reflect on your strengths, challenge your limitations, and pursue your passions with courage. As Tony Robbins once said, "It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, it's what we do consistently." Commit to applying these lessons daily, and watch how they transform your relationships, career, and personal growth. Thank you for listening to Decoding Human Behavior, the hidden forces driving our actions. Your support means the world to us at Wisdom Audiobooks. Creating content like this is a labor of love, and knowing that it impacts lives is incredibly rewarding. If you found value in this audiobook, please take a moment to like this video to show your appreciation. Share it with friends or colleagues who might benefit from these insights. Subscribe to Wisdom Audiobooks for more transformative content that empowers you to grow, lead, and thrive. And finally, remember this. The greatest gift you can give someone is the ability to see themselves in a new light, and to believe in their potential. By sharing this audiobook, you're helping others embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and growth. Until next time, keep exploring, learning, and mastering the art of human nature. Together, let's create a world where wisdom and compassion guide every action.